What is up, guys? Stark here. I am back for another Fate video, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at the part 2 banner for the Case Files event. Going to have 2 new servants. It's going to be available until the 16th of January, so it's only going to be out for a couple of days, but if you want either of these 2 servants, then it's going to be a good opportunity to do so. Although probably don't really want to pull for either of these 2 servants at this point in time. Not to say that they're not good characters, because they're actually both really good characters, but Waver's a character that's been out for, well, ever, really, so most people already have him or choose to start with him when they make a new account, and Astrea gets rated up all the time. So if you're going to pull, I'd probably recommend pulling on the first part of the banner, and I do have a video about the first part as well, but we're going to go ahead and talk about the servants regardless, and just take a look at them real quickly. So first up, we do have Waver. He is a 5-star caster, really good servant, one of the best characters in the game. He's been out since the game has come out, and he's consistently been one of the best characters in the game, and that still holds true even now. Just overall, he's a really good neutral support character. Doesn't matter what meta we're in, he's just going to neutrally be a really good option. All of his skills are just geared towards support. He's not going to be doing a lot of damage. Casters typically don't do a lot of damage. There are a few exceptions, but he isn't one of them. And he's just there for support. He's a great utility character. All of his skills, like I said, they buff up your allies. His first skill gives increase to critical strength for an ally for 3 turns, as well as increasing their gauge for 3 turns for your Noble Phantasm. Second skill will increase defense for all allies, as well as apply damage cut to all allies, and also increase the Noble Phantasm gauge by 10%. And then his last skill is going to increase the attack of all of your allies, as well as apply damage plus for all allies, and increase the Noble Phantasm gauge by 10%. So overall, it's a really good kit of skills to utilize. You're going to be able to quickly charge up your Noble Phantasms for all of your characters, or one of your characters, or whatever. But yeah, you can get 50% with him for Noble Phantasm gauge, which is typically the number you want to hit for support or starting with. So you have a character with a 50% Noble Phantasm gauge increase, Craft Essence or higher, but 50% is where you want to be. You can use Waver skills to instantly charge Noble Phantasm, on top of getting an array of really good buffs for your whole team, not just one character, and then you're good to go. Just like I said, overall neutrally really strong character. His Noble Phantasm will decrease defense of all enemies, I said it right the first time, for 3 turns. Will also inflict curse on all enemies as well for 6 turns. Decrease the charge of all enemies by 1 on their Noble Phantasms. And on the overcharge, you have a chance to stun all enemies for 1 turn. So his Noble Phantasm is really good as well, with just sort of like debuffing the enemy into the ground and potentially preventing them from attacking you, and giving you an extra turn to kill them before they can use their Noble Phantasm. Is just really good utility. Like I said, one of the best characters in the game, definitely a character you should have on your roster, without exception. So like, if you don't have Waver, you need to get him. There are plenty of opportunities to do that, but you need to make sure you have him on your team. At this point in the game, like, I don't use him too often, but he does come up quite frequently. Challenge quests, some events, like story mode chapters where you have to use like specific units, or you're restricted on using certain units. Like for Lost Belt number 6 right now, not being able to use Caster Artoria, or being like forced to use only 1 of her instead of 2. Waver is a good plug in there to help with that. I just always find myself going back to him, and like, I kind of feel like I keep talking about it, but you guys should already know how good Waver is. But yeah, if you don't have Waver, get Waver, but maybe just not on this banner. Next up, we have Astrea, who's going to be a 4-star ruler. She's a pretty good character. She's not a support character by any means. She is definitely a offensive servant. However, her first skill does let you use you can buff any character, so that's really cool. You do have the option for utility, and you're going to be able to increase the attack, defense, and Noble Phantasm gain for 1 ally for 3 turns. So you get a little bit of everything with that skill, but mostly she's going to be buffing herself because she's the damage dealer. being able to increase arts card effectiveness for yourself for 1 turn, as well as gaining critical stars. And then on the 3rd skill, you're going to consume 5 stars to use this, but if you combo it with her 2nd skill, you'll be able to do that no problem. And you're going to be able to increase your critical star gather rate, your critical strength, and your noble phantasm gauge by 20%. So really heavy on the crit side for this character, which is really nice. Noble phantasm will apply ignore invincible to self for 1 turn, deal damage to a single enemy, and gain 20 stars. And then on the overcharge, you're going to deal extra damage to evil enemies. So a really heavy crit servant, like I said, going to do some pretty good damage. The biggest drawback to Astrea is the fact that she's a ruler, so you're not going to get a lot of spread for coverage on classes, but she still does some pretty good damage. Obviously, if you need a single target ruler for any specific situation, pretty good option there. So probably want to be a character you add into that mix as like a single target option if you do need a ruler. Probably not a character you'll utilize too often, but when I build teams or when I look at team compositions and stuff like that, you always want to have a single target of every class. So like a really heavy single target attacker, you want to have a noble phantasm or an AoE noble phantasm for each class preferably, and then you want the support characters. So like at minimum, that's what you should be looking for. So Astrea is a pretty good option for your single target ruler. I don't know if she's the best one. She might be the best one. Haven't thought about it, but it's a good one nonetheless. It's an arts single target noble phantasm, so that will fill the void there for that. But that's the way I kind of look at it. So at minimum, you should have one of each for each class. So, and then all the support characters. Like you should always get all the support characters. They're the support characters. That's how the teams work. So yeah. And usually having 2 of the support characters is better than having 1 of them, so you can combo their skills together. But regardless, Astrea and Waver are both really good characters. However, probably shouldn't pull for them on this banner. Like I said, Reines and Hephaestion are the better of the choices in my opinion. If you're going to be pulling on this banner, I feel like you should be pulling on the first part of the banner instead of the second part of the banner. But maybe you already pulled on the first part of the banner and you have those characters and you don't have Waver and Astrea and you want them. So by all means, go for it. Just giving you guys some tools to utilize. Anyway, that's it for me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.